This course video is going to be completely different than absolutely any other course video you've watched in the growth operating space, or honestly, any online business as a whole. And there's a couple reasons for that. But first of all, I can 100% guarantee that on my life, there's things in this video that at the time of me posting this, you do not know exist and you're not implementing right now. So make sure to watch the video to the fullest extent. It's the only one you're ever going to need to be a growth operator and have an understanding and be able to have some success. Now, I don't know who you are. I don't know your work ethic. So there is no, by any means, income claim or guarantee whatsoever. It's just a free YouTube video. So lock in. You're going to learn something. I promise you, if you stay through this entire video. There's no need to go watch any other course video. This is all you need. First of all, we're going to be going over 4 different modules with a bonus. This is the complete growth operator guide. So if you already have a client signed, then you can go ahead and skip to module 3, unless you want to learn more about client acquisition, module 2, but there's a good chance you understand the basics. Now, if you want to watch that too, just to catch up, cool. If you're a complete beginner, then just watch the video in the order that it's presented, and you're going to be okay. So straight into it. What is a growth operator, the business model, the opportunity, and why it beats every other freelance path? So what a growth operator actually is. It's not a VA. It's not necessarily an agency, but there is some crossover. It's not a marketing manager. It's something a lot more valuable. Okay. So some of the things that you're not are a virtual assistant. You're not just there to execute task, no strategy, easily replaced, and you're not working hourly. Okay. This 5 to 15 isn't impossible to make less than that in the beginning if you're bad, but we won't get into that. So you're also not a marketing agency. You're not overhead heavy, client churn tied to ad performance, and hire to scale. Okay. So if your ad performance is bad and that is something you're providing to your client, it doesn't even dictate the results that you get them completely. You're not a marketing manager, employee, salaried, one client, no leverage, no upside. Okay. What you are is a fractional growth partner. You own the entire client acquisition system end to end. You're bringing a system into a business, in this case, online coaches businesses, okay, whether they teach how to get into real estate, how to start day trading, how to start drop shipping, e-commerce, Amazon FBA, whatever it is, you are finding a coach, an online coach that sells, preferably, if you really want to get the best results, a high ticket offer. Somebody who sells coaching, one-on-one coaching, for upwards of $3,000, $3,000 or higher. And you go into that business and you help them get more clients with, hypothetically, you should be finding creators that already have a following. So you help them leverage that following with your systems that you create. Now, you might not know what these systems are yet, but you will after this video. So stay locked in. You are a systems builder. So funnels, automations, email sequences, CRM pipelines, all done for you when you partner with a coach. It's going to come in handy whenever you're actually trying to dictate how you can get to $10,000, $20,000 a month as a growth operator and beyond. We'll dive into that. High leverage solo operator. You can have 2 to 3 retainer clients that are paying you 5 to 15K a month. No employees, no ad spend. Okay. Now, 2 to 3 is not a cap, and 5 to 15K a month is definitely not a cap, but we'll go more into what you should actually be doing as a growth operator to make sure you leverage your time and are able to make the most income possible without burning all of your time. So how the model works: 3 players, 1 system with infinite leverage. The coach, who you want to be completely dialed in and focused on social media, making content, and fulfillment of the product. So when people do buy the program, you want to make sure that your coach is very good at getting people the results that they're promising or trying to help people get, right? So expert at coaching, terrible at funnels, follow-up tech, has the audience, but they need a system. And you, as the growth operator, build and manage the entire client system, the entire client acquisition engine, systems, automations, optimizations. And then these systems, of course, are funnels, email sequences, CRM pipeline, booking automation, lead nurture, and analytics. Don't skip out on analytics. Data is super important to scale. As a growth operator, you can be looking at $1,500 to $5K per month per client. Now, that is definitely not a cap whatsoever, but it's also not a floor. You could easily get a client that you do a launch, and maybe initially you're in that range. You make, maybe you do a 30K launch at a 20% share, and you make $6,000 as a growth operator, but then you realize you kind of used up their audience. So then the following month, you might not hit that 30K month again. You might only do like 10K, okay? And maybe even less. Sometimes offers just completely burn and go to the ground, or maybe you get knocked off that offer and now you're making zero, right? So you can easily make less than this, but you can also make much more if you're able to take a coach to 100K, 200K, 500K, $1 million a month. That may sound crazy to you, but there's plenty and plenty of online coaches that do $1 million a month or more, okay? It sounds crazy if you're new to it, but it's really not that insane. So if there's people doing millions every single month, then you are definitely capable if you put your best foot forward and you're constantly trying to improve and you're doing absolutely everything in your power. There's never any guarantees in life, but you can go find a coach and bring them to 100K a month, okay? And if you have a 20% share, you're making $20,000 a month with one client. 30% share, obviously 30K a month. So you don't necessarily need to be a great marketer. You don't need to understand like Meta ads, Facebook, Instagram ads like the back of your hand. But you do need to be great at building systems. Now, we're going to deep dive into the systems and how they're built now, because I guarantee you at the time of me posting this video that you have no fucking clue that this exists, and it could completely change your business wherever you're at in your journey as a growth operator. So why do coaches even need a growth operator? Like, why do they need you in their business? Most coaches are stuck under 10K a month. And not only are they stuck under 10K a month, they think it's like this massive number that they'll never be able to achieve and they can't scale past. And they need someone to break those limiting beliefs for them. But it's not because they're bad at coaching. It's because they actually have terrible systems. They're not able to, they have an audience, but they're not able to actually convert that audience into dollar bills, which is, as growth operators, that's what we help them with. That's what we like, right? So they may be great at coaching. They're probably wasting ad spend. For example, you're going to have coaches that run ads, but they're so bad at it, don't know how to set it up. There's no back-end system on it. They're basically just burning their money through ads. Those should be the easiest ones to close for you, honestly. They might be using a ton of different tools. Like, even if they have a growth operator already, which could be a concern. But whenever you're doing outreach, which we're going to dive into, most growth operators are using ClickFunnels for landing page, Calendly for call booking, ConvertKit for emails, Stripe for payment. There's Notion for communication. There's Stripe for communication. There's Typeform to collect lead data. There's Go High Level for your CRM and for automation. There's Zapier. There's so many different softwares that these guys are using, and they don't know how to use any of them. Even the growth operators that are getting on offers, like there's growth operators that I've worked with that have gotten their clients over 10K a month, and they literally don't know what half of the softwares that I just named are. And you might not either, but you're not going to have to anymore. And I'll show you exactly why later in the video. So without these systems, they're just constantly leaking leads. Like, their leads are never actually, they're just getting lost at some point. There's no follow-up. There's no way to book a call. Maybe they don't even know the offer exists, which is a big problem a lot of the time. Like, they have a big audience and they may have a funnel and think they have a good system in place, and the growth operator thinks they have a good system in place, but they're not even directing the traffic properly to get to that funnel to actually see a return. Okay. They might be getting a ton of no-shows because they have no email sequence or anything like that. And then they have no time to actually fix what's going on. So you ask, is there any opportunity in this market? Like, is it going away anytime soon? This is a $3.3 billion industry and opportunity. The online coaching market is absolutely massive and it's growing and it's underserved. Okay. 80% of coaches are stuck under 10K per month. Okay. You can easily go find coaches absolutely everywhere. I'm going to show you how to find them later. But 1 in 10 of the coaches on average are going to have like an actual functional acquisition system, and that's being generous. Okay. You can probably improve, like if you do 100 outreach messages, you can probably help like 90 plus of those people improve their systems. There's some eyewash numbers right here if you want to read those. What you actually build and manage, this is the full stack of what a growth operator actually delivers. You don't need to do all of this from day one, but you need to have it in your vision, and you definitely need to let them know that you're going to be able to handle that and take care of it. So you're going to have to handle funnel builds, VSL funnels, application funnels, landing page, however it is that is best converting their viewers into leads into customers. You're going to need to optimize booking. You're going to need email sequences, lead qualification, and application forms. You're going to need a CRM pipeline, which is just a place where all the leads go. If they fill out an application, their name, number, email is stored in a database so that you can easily have team members follow up, which that's another thing that's not on this list, is building a team, hiring appointment setters, closers, whatever it is, and also analytics and reporting. This is a very common thing that's left out by newbies, and it was left out by me. And I can very confidently say that not only did me kind of undermining analytics cost my clients money early on, it also costed me a ton of money and probably has costed me like a client in the past. Analytics, tracking your data is so important. So important. That's how you improve, right? It's the income math, low overhead, no team, no ad spend. You just got leverage, right? So with 2 clients, you might be sitting between 3 to 6K. Now, if you have 2 clients that are doing 100K a month, you're making 40K a month, right? So obviously, with that being said, would you rather have 2 clients doing 100K a month and you're making 40K a month on 20% rev share each? Or would you rather have 40 clients as an agency paying you $1,000 a month? Now, there's pros and cons. One of your 2 clients chop you, your revenue gets cut in half. That hurts a little bit, right? But at the same time, it's much more scalable. You can put all of your focus and attention into just 2 relationships, and you could free up your time like crazy, right? So when we're really talking about this, I do recommend having more than 2 clients. At one point, I had 12 clients at the same time. With this example, don't necessarily take these numbers to heart where it's like, oh, this is the sweet spot. But with 5 clients, like, you're going to be able to manage. But honestly, if I was putting the perfect thing together, if you're a complete beginner, I would onboard as many clients as possible and leverage launches. And I would get really damn good at launching info offers with social media, story post, bring you on a setter, have you a setter that works one-on-one with you, not one-on-one with a coach. So don't bring them on the coach's offer, bring them on your offer. So you have more leverage as a growth operator, like it's your team, not theirs. But really, as a beginner, bring on as many clients as you can. Like, try to get to this 10 client spot. And when you run out of time, obviously stop onboarding. But you're also going to see, like, just because, say if you stay at 10 clients, but some of the clients continue to grow, you're still going to be losing more and more time because they're going to acquire new things that require you to find and learn new skills to get to the next level. And they're paying you more money to do that than the others, right? So naturally what happens is if you have 10 clients, you have 1 breakout and 3 that are outperforming, you're going to slowly start removing clients. And naturally, you're probably going to lose some clients along the way. Just so it's like, making errors, learning, whatever it is. Maybe you're not giving them the attention they need, which needy clients are never worth it in the long run. And don't ever do business with people that will say that are only worried about purely business. Try to build some sort of relationship for the long term. Partnerships should have trust from both ends, and they should know your expectations going into it. Like, dude, if you're struggling because like I'm not doing my part good enough, like, or you're struggling and we feel like the system's good, but we just need more time, like I'm gonna be there. Like I'm gonna be in the trenches. So whenever we're doing really good, like you don't have to try to, find somebody else or like get shiny object syndrome and ruin our relationship because I'm gonna be there in the down. You know what I mean? You'll definitely run into clients. I've ran into clients that I've literally, bro, it doesn't matter. Like greed gets to people, right? I've had clients that I took zero fucking dollars to $100,000 cash collected profit in their fucking pocket in just 90 days without spending any money on ads. Like literally no risk to that, just a commission to me. And for some reason, like you hearing that, I'd be like, oh, that's a great relationship. Somehow that guy changed operators. Like that shit happens. You know what I mean? Sometimes people are just getting greedy, shiny object syndrome, and his offer is just like not scaling the same way that we were scaling. We 3x'd his revenue every single month. And then he switches over. I can still see this dude's numbers and they're pretty stagnant and they're spending a bunch of money on ads. So there's more risk and less profit margin. The guy's honestly a dumbass for that. But it is what it is. And that's the same type of person who say it's just business. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's not about just business. You know what I mean? Let's get into client acquisition. I hope that gives you an understanding of some things to look out for, some things to learn and understand as a growth operator. And after going through that module, you should have a rough understanding of like, okay, I'm building a system, I'm building the funnels. Now, as you continue watching this video, by the end, you're gonna like understand what you actually need to do. But first, we had to lay the foundation of like you have to know what you're going to have to build. Start thinking about your questions. They'll probably be answered later in the video, is what I'm getting at. So now we jump into client acquisition, getting your first client or getting more clients. I'm definitely going to touch over getting more clients if you already have one or two, because that is like the best, dude. Whenever I got my first client, I got my next 4 within like 2 or 3 weeks, and it was crazy. So I'll kind of cover how I did that and what you should do. So step-by-step SOPs, exact scripts, daily routine that books calls on autopilot. So the prospecting system overview. First of all, you want to pick a niche, and your niche can be somewhat broad, but I honestly I'd really think about your niche a good amount. You want your niche to be a coach that's teaching somebody how to make money. And if they're teaching someone how to make money in a new or unique way, for example, it doesn't have to be something that's like completely like, AI is a new thing. So if someone's teaching or coaching people how to set up AI automations, that's probably a good coach to work with because that's like an entirely new opportunity, right? A new business opportunity. But there's also new business opportunities that have been around forever, but the coach is just very good at structuring their framework in a way that seems different. For example, I actually did this a few years ago. I was a coach in e-commerce, and instead of doing the typical, I'll teach you how to make 0% profit and 100K months like e-com gurus do, I pretty much did the opposite and was like, hey, I can teach you to make like 2K a month, maybe, but it's 70% profit margins and it's on this platform instead of using like Shopify for drop shipping or something, right? So changed up the e-com business model. E-com's a huge business opportunity. Like everybody knows what e-commerce is, but I made a subset and that allowed me to scale to 30, 40K a month as a coach. When I was just a college student, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I had no systems. If a growth operator reached out to me then, I would have easily flew past 100K per month. But pick a niche, start off with something that you're like maybe interested in, passionate about, or just know and heard about it, and know that it's like, there's a lot of opportunity there. For example, going into a niche, this is important, right? Don't just say, oh, I'm going to help e-commerce. Like find one of those subsets inside of e-commerce where it's like, I'm going to help this e-com coach who does Pinterest, like e-commerce through Pinterest, right? It's like, damn, I would have never thought about that. Like you want to find a weird ass niche inside of a big ass niche. That's how you print. Number 2, find creators. What you're going to do is you're going to go on YouTube and you're going to search up how to, and then whatever your niche is. For example, if you're day trading, how to day trade. But you want to add that extra niche layer on top if you really want to get results. So it's like, instead of how to drop ship, how to drop ship using Pinterest ads. If you search that up and then you sort by recent activity, recent posts, and just go through all those creators, you're probably going to find some really good stuff, right? Then you just want to go through their YouTube video. You want to honestly watch their YouTube video a little bit, see if they have like CTAs, a call to action, a time in their video where they're like, check out the link in my description, which shameless plug, check out the link in my description if you want to get one-on-one coaching, full lifetime access to the community, group calls, frameworks, SOPs, and a month of OpBot, which I'll get into later. But you want to go through their funnels, check out their landing page, and if you notice something, like maybe they just have a Calendly link in their description of their YouTube video, they don't actually have a landing page, and you can't really tell what the offer is. Like the guy makes like ecom videos, but he kind of talks about like email marketing. Is he like an email marketer for Shopify brands, or is he like a coach for ecom people trying to start ecom? If you have some confusion of what their offer is, that's perfect. You can raise awareness to them for that. And then, obviously, if you can see their funnel, you can funnel hack them, which is just like typing in information into their funnel to see what is actually working and what happens. Are you directed? Do you fill out an application? If you do, are you getting an email? Is it then to a book a call page? Is a setter reaching out to you? Analyze the business and find out some of those steps that we talked about earlier, those frameworks, what is missing from the business. From there, if they have a shitty funnel, you want to find their Instagram and you're going to DM them from Instagram, right? That's where you're going to contact. Now, when you're finding creators on Instagram, no one replies to anon accounts. If you want to make money online, especially as a growth operator, you have to let your nuts hang. It pisses me off when I see people DM me or just DM in general with like no profile picture, no photos, their bios like has nothing to do, is not relevant whatsoever with like what they're doing outreach for. You need a profile picture with a side profile of your face or a direct picture of your face. You need at least 3 posts. I mean, 3 posts showing your face and lifestyle a little bit. It doesn't have to be like you on a yacht, you know what I mean? But like you just, wearing your standard clothing with a decent quality picture. I don't know. They got to see that you're a real person. If you really want to level up, post 3 static images on the top and then post 6 reels on the 6 most asked questions in DMs and answer them with your content and show your face in the content. If you do that, I promise you, I did that as a coach when I was doing cold outreach to sell a ecom course, and that shit went crazy. Like I wasn't running ads. I didn't post YouTube content. I didn't even post on Instagram outside of videos that weren't meant for views. They were literally meant to nurture my cold DMs. Okay. Do that as a growth operator. I'm telling you, that shit changes outreach like crazy. Once you have all that set up, you're going to want to record a Loom video. A Loom video is just a software that lets you record your screen, right? This just needs to be 3 to 5 minutes, a personalized funnel audit, go through their funnel, tell them where you see leaks, and then at the end, of course, like pitch, we'll go over more about Loom, and I think I'm going to give you a script for a full Loom, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Then, of course, send the DM. 3-message sequence. The video does all the sending. We're going to dive into that, but basically it's a short message that doesn't get cut off in their preview, a Loom link, which is the video you recorded that gives them more information, and then a follow-up message. So step 1, picking your niche. Here's some different ideas. You can just start with one, again, expand later, but try to be specific within a niche, okay? But these are some of the top niches: trading, real estate, anything that to do with businesses in general, and career coaching is decent. I would throw in AI. And for fitness, dating and relationships is different. Fitness and health and nutrition, these, as a beginner, I feel like my first 4 or 5 clients were fitness coaches, okay? So I don't hate it for beginners, but they're super, super hard to scale because there's so many of them. and they're also usually kind of broke. They also don't understand why they need systems whatsoever. They're usually somewhat stupid. But dating and relationship coaches is actually kind of slept on, and it was slept on by me too. I've never worked with a dating and relationship coach, but I've seen dating coaches that have like scaled like crazy, six-figure months, doing really well. And I was pretty surprised. But really what it comes down to with trading, Forex, real estate, business, it's like there's a big pain point. I don't have enough money to pay my bills. Like I need to make more money for my family to be happy. Okay. With fitness, people like have a New Year's resolution where it's like, I want to get a six pack and like look good, but like they don't care enough to actually make changes in their life. And they're definitely not going to start like spending money. You know, they might, your job is to convince them to spend money to make that change because that's what will get them to commit. But with dating and relationships, like the pain is just bigger. It's not just like I'm living chubby. It's like I'm living lonely. You know, loneliness hurts, bro. So like this actually pretty slept on. I'm not saying to do it, but you know, it's decent. So again, how-to method, remember that. How to day trade, not just how to day trade, but like how to day trade options, for example. You know, I'm not saying these are good niches. They're just examples. Find active creators on YouTube. Once you search that up, upload this week, or you can do like literally past hour just to see it the best. Now, what you're looking for is creators with 1,000 to 100,000 subscribers. Any more, as a complete beginner, is going to be pretty hard to get in contact with them. But I'm never going to say to not shoot a DM. Like, if you're going to let them hang and send a DM to a guy with 1 million subscribers, there's no harm done. You know, you might waste a little bit of time, but honestly, go for it. Now, 1,000, you might think is a small audience, right? But I've actually had coaches who I started working with when they only had a couple hundred subscribers, and in 3 months got them to 6 figures a month with coaching. It depends on the niche, but what you want to see, and this is very important, is momentum, okay? If someone has 100,000 subscribers, but they've been on YouTube for 10 years and their videos don't really get that great of views, no one cares how many subscribers they have. If somebody has 500 subscribers, but they've only posted 3 videos in 2 months, that person is 10 times better than the guy with 100,000 subscribers. They got 500 subscribers, which is actually pretty difficult to do on YouTube. It's not the same as TikTok, Instagram. You got to work for that shit. So if they have 500 in 2 months and 3 videos, you know that there is a common agreement that people come to that this guy's content's pretty good and they want to see more of it. And it's only been 2 months. If you see any type of hockey stick curve where, you know, YouTube starts picking up more and more, you start scaling exponentially, like that's where you really get in the money, is when you catch somebody early and they have like 500 subscribers, but then you are with them till they have like 5,000-10,000. And now like you're established in their business. As long as you maintain that relationship, then dude, you're going to be in the money, you know? So you want them to be small enough to not have a team yet, but big enough to have an audience, if that makes sense. And don't like if you're looking on Instagram, like, oh, they have 1,000 followers on Instagram. That's jack shit. I don't even care what niche they're in. That's so bad. If they have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, you can print with that. If their niche is good and their content's made correctly and they're making value-based content, not just like some bullshit content that's like for views with like memes, you know? So recent upload, active channel, that don't like, you want them to not have a funnel, or at least not a good one. And you don't want them to have like these old dog shit videos that went viral that like boosted their subs. That's the only reason they have subscribers. So audit their funnel, see their landing page. Is it missing, or is it just kind of shit? Or is it like a link tree? That's the best to see, which those honestly kind of scare me now. Where it's like, dude, you have a link tree. Like you're going to be too stupid to even understand what I'm saying here. You want to see if they have a lead capture form, if they have email opt-in, if they're qualifying leads, what type of questions they ask. Are they asking open-ended questions? Are they asking like all multiple choice? Are they asking like actually qualifying questions? Or are they just kind of bullshitting a little bit? For example, like, are they asking like, how much are you willing and able to invest? Or are you asking like, are you interested in e-com? It's like, dude, I just clicked on here from your fucking e-com YouTube video. What do you think, buddy? You know what I mean? But you also want to see their email sequences. It's kind of a big one because like usually growth operators, even me for the longest time, until OpBot. Like I really didn't fuck with the email sequences at all. And then booking system, you want to see like what they're using, or if they have it whatsoever, or if it's, again, no landing page and just straight to booking. And then you want to see, which you really can't, is like their CRM pipeline. But if you ask the coach, usually like you can find this out pretty easily. If they don't have like email sequences, there's a chance they don't have CRM. This is crazy. It's like CRM and pipeline, where you store your leads, is like one of the most important things. Like that's a separator for like if you're gonna bring on setters and have them tracking their data, and like you're gonna have good follow up and understand like where everyone is in their stage as a customer. Like a CRM is huge. It's like the next thing you need after like a landing page. Like is the first thing you need to build. Like one of the first things you need to build. I see growth operators that are like helping coaches get some sales without a CRM. And it's like, bro, just add a CRM. And next thing you know, they double their revenue. It's like, no shit. Like, why don't you have the CRM? And then check out if they have a VSL. Honestly, if they throw up a landing page that doesn't look good with no VSL, like that may be a way to see that they were trying to do it DIY, like they tried to do it themselves. But also VSLs, which is just a video at the top of a landing page that's like, selling their program basically before they get on a call, seeing if it's a good fit, which again, check my program in the description. But there's a lot of landing pages that don't require a VSL now. Like it's kind of strange how that works sometimes. But like if you're selling, especially from organic content, which is kind of what I'm talking about right now, if you find a guy on YouTube, he doesn't have a VSL, it's not end all be all, because the YouTube video is the VSL. Like you're watching this video right now, learning about growth operating, and I'm teaching you a bunch of shit that's going to help you. By the end of the video, you're going to understand, like you're going to have good feel on what you need to do, and not just how to get more clients, but how to like scale the ones you have. There's going to be a lot of benefit from watching this video all the way through. There's going to be a ton of nuggets. So, like, do I need a VSL on my landing page whenever you go to it because you want to work with me, because you got results just from a free YouTube video? Maybe I don't need a VSL. I still will have a VSL on mine, but it's not always required. So obviously after that, find their Instagram, shoot them a DM. You can find their Instagram. Usually they link it in the description. You can check their YouTube About tab, and you can also just search for them on Instagram directly. It's a few ways to find their IG, but make sure before you DM that it's actually them. Check their face, their brand, obviously against YouTube. See if it's an active account. You might find like some bullshit knockoff account or an account they don't use. Try to find like their personal if possible, and then make sure DMs are open, not locked down, or request only. And then why Instagram, not email? This should be honestly self-explanatory, but open rates for cold email, cold outreach could be like 10 to 20%, which is honestly like that would be very honestly pretty solid for what you're doing. But for DMs, it's 70 to 90%, which is also very solid. But there's a good chance if you shoot someone a DM and they have a moderate audience, like they're gonna see it. I see all of my DMs. Every single DM that I get at the time of making this video, I see. But a lot of them, they don't get accepted because it's anon accounts that are like trying to sell me shit, even though you can tell they haven't done shit. It's like, bro, what are you doing? But yeah, these guys check their DMs daily. They don't really check emails all that much. And like DMs, they could put a face to the person messaging them. Email, not the same. So after this, you want to record the Loom audit, 3 to 5 minutes, share a screen, go through their funnel, tell them what they're losing, tell them how much money it could potentially be costing them. But basically, this can be like, you could screenshot this video right now if you want, but like your opening hook, hey, their name, I was watching your video on their topic, checked out your funnel, wanted to show you something real quick. This is like in the video. This is not your DM script. Show the lost revenue. People are clicking your link, but there's no capture. You're losing 90% of your traffic every day. Share screen, their funnel, go to their link, their bio landing page, narrate exactly what's missing or broken. And then people are clicking on your link. There's no capture. Number 4, briefly show the fix. So go over what you're going to do, the proper funnel. You'd have a landing page that qualifies leads, an email sequence, and a booking system all connected that works together. Soft CTA, I build these for coaches. Let me know if you want me to show you what yours would look like. And then just keep it under 5 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. You want to get the information needed inside the video, but like, don't be a dick. If you send a 10-minute Loom, not only are you like coming off as a dick because you're trying to waste their time, but also like nobody's going to watch that anyways. right? So you want the video to leave them wanting more, not like sitting there like, damn, bro, like this guy's taking forever. People send voice notes like that too. If you send a voice note, which is a good strategy, send voice notes to coaches sometimes just to show you're a real person. But sometimes, these voice notes end up like 2.5, 3 minutes long to people you don't know. And it's like, bro, what is this guy on? You know what I mean? Loom versus cold DMs, personalized looms, they get way better response rates than just like a normal cold DM. A lot of the people that DM me, like I just never respond to. But if someone does send me a loom, like for example, a kid the other day sent me a loom and I actually like clicked on it and saw what his offer was. But if he cold DM'd me, I would have never gave him the time, like, and never even like looked at that shit, to be honest with you. But since he said a loom, I clicked on the video. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's like a good thing, because as soon as I opened the loom, he unqualified himself and I never messaged him because it was a piece of shit loom video. So the loom can definitely get you attention, but it can also, like, if you aren't looking professional in the loom or you don't know what you're talking about, then it's not like it's going to matter. But cold email, comment outreach is pretty much a waste of time. So you're looking at just better response rates. And Loom has a free like 5-minute cap tier, so you can do it for free, right? So 3-message DM sequence, initial outreach. Thought you'd find this interesting, and you send the Loom video, okay? And then this is what you're cold DMing them with, okay? Thought you'd find this interesting, sending them your Loom video. After that, literally like 24 to 48 hours later, you have your follow-up message. Basically walk through your funnel and found a few things that are costing you leads. Nothing crazy to fix, but figured you'd want to see it, okay? You can literally screenshot this and use it for yourself. And DM number 3, they replied positively. Wow, this is really helpful. How much do you charge? That's never going to look. That message is something you'll probably never see in your life. So enjoy seeing it for the first time in this YouTube video. They're not going to say exactly this, but like, let's say like they're just like, oh, this actually was helpful. That's cool. What do you do? That's more going to be like, what do you do? Because the video is 3-4 minutes and you tell a little bit about what you do, but not everything. Glad it helped. I actually build these out for coaches as done for you service, handle the full funnel, email sequence, booking system, CRM, everything. Want me to show you what yours would look like? Can hop on a quick 15-minute call. Okay. Pitch the call, not the price. Get the meeting. First of all, like these messages, there's no pitch, no intro, just curiosity for the Loom. Short, conversational, zero pressure for the follow-up. And this is huge, dude. Like this is so huge. Like please listen to this shit. When you're in the DMs, these dudes are like all these growth operators. They're trying to sell shit in the DMs. Like, bro, you are not the Wolf of Wall Street, bro. Like you are not selling these dudes in the DMs. You have to show your face on your profile picture, build out your Instagram, have a clear bio of what you do, have your funnel link in the bio so they can see what the quality of work is. Spend some time on a funnel and put it in your bio so these guys have something to click on. If you want to level up, have your 3 posts. Those are pretty much mandatory. And then 6 talking head, just hold your phone and go over 6 problems these coaches usually have. And in the DMs, pitch the call, not the price. Like they don't need to know how much it costs. They don't need to know, you don't need to try to sell them shit in the DMs other than getting on a call with you. Once you get them on a call, if you feel uncomfortable with that, then like that's definitely a problem, okay? Because you're going to have to be good at sales. At some point, you're probably going to have to help your coach with sales and hop on some sales calls. You're going to have to teach them some sales. You're going to have to hire a sales team. So you should probably get good at sales. So get comfortable being uncomfortable. Get comfortable with getting on calls. And only try to book calls. You have no other goal other than to book a call in the DMs. Now, your daily outreach SOP, 1 to 2 hours a day. Screenshot this, stick to it. Results follow, consistency. So just be consistent. Do this for 1 to 2 hours a day. And, I would do this first before you do any further research. But search 2 to 3 YouTube like how-to niches, find 5 to 10 creators with weaker funnels, record the Loom audits, send DMs, follow up with yesterday's prospects, and update your tracker. So make sure you're tracking these people, which you're going to be able to do inside of OpBot. You are able to do inside of OpBot. You have your agency dashboard, and then you have your client dashboard. In your agency dashboard, you can have your own funnels, your own CRM, your own tracking. We're about to go through it here in a second. But your weekly targets is to send at least 15 to 25 loom audits. Now, like, this is on the low end, dude, but if we're being real, like, a lot of you guys are just lazy, you know? So, like, just aim for this shit. It's so achievable, man. And then responses received, you're looking to try to get like 8 to 12 a week. Calls booked, if you can book 3 to 5 calls, then, you know, you're probably closing 1 to 2 clients a month, you know, at least. If you're good at sales and you understand what you're trying to do, while we're on this, just to make sure I don't miss it, always charge an upfront fee with your rev share. You can do anywhere from 10 to 50% rev share. Usually the sweet spot is 20 or 30%, 20, 25, 30, 20 to 30% is the sweet spot. And for an upfront fee, you can charge anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 starting off or more. You can charge much more. Like build outs I do for $12,000 all the time. You know what I mean? Even though they take me 2 minutes now because of OpBot, it doesn't matter. They're paying for the value, not for how long it takes me, right? I'm just connecting the dots for them. And at the end of the day, I built fucking OpBot, so get fucked. But this is how you close 1 to 2 clients. Your tracker tool, again, you can just use OpBot, but if you're a cheap shitter and you don't want to put your money where your mouth is, or you have no money, and then if you have $0, like this requires a decent amount of competency. And if you have $0, you're probably not that competent. So this might not be the business model for you. But if you do have some money, OpBot. If you're still going to try the business model, even though you're broke, like completely broke. Now, trust me, I've had my bank account negative 100%. Like I've had my bank account negative in the past multiple times. And like really need to make some shit work. Like I've been a college student, I played college baseball. Like, yeah, I've been a brokey, and that shit, I would say it sucks, but like there's also like that instinct to kill. You know what I mean? Where like there's fun parts about being a broke shitter, you know? But the fun part is like getting out of the situation and looking back on it, you know? But you can also use Google Sheet, Notion to track your prospects. You 100% need to listen to this shit. You need to track your outreach. No GO is doing it. Even setters are not doing this shit. Okay? Track your outreach. You're going to have to track it for your coaches. You might as well start practicing on yourself. And if you really believe in the systems enough to sell it to a coach, then you need to live that shit. Like you need to have the systems inside your own business. That's why you need a landing page in your bio. The VSL and application, even if you know they're not going to go through it, it still shows them like you practice what you preach. And the tracking is actually important. So practice tracking. Plus, you're going to learn more to be able to teach a setter. You're going to be able to build out like your sheet, your tracking sheet that you really like, and a system that, you know, you're able to train other people in the future. And from the outreach pipeline, from cold YouTube to paying client, what we're looking at, like some generalized numbers. This is like the math that you could potentially be looking at if you stick to the SOP. 20 looms sent per week, that's 80 a month. 10 responses, 50%, that's probably pretty high. You're probably looking at more like 20 to 30% realistically, but if you have 50%, you're doing it good. 4 calls booked, which is pretty accurate if you get 10 responses, in my opinion. Just depends who you are, how good your loom videos are. Could be higher, could be lower. And if you have 4 calls booked, you're probably looking at, you know, a client, you know, a client or two per month. Now, these are weekly metrics, and this is per month. So if you sent 80 loom videos, then you're looking at 40 responses in a month. You're looking at 12 calls booked in the time of a month, and you're looking at getting 1 to 2 clients from those 12 calls booked. I'd say that's fairly accurate. But if you put in 80 to 100 looms sent per month and you stick to this 20 per week, it's only a matter of time, dude. Like if you are actually just not willing to accept defeat, you are going to find a way. No income guarantee or income claim whatsoever, but like if you work your ass off, usually money follows. You know what I mean? So what you're looking at for upfront fee, it says retainer here, but for upfront fee, like you're looking for, you know, minimum, like my first deal ever, I will say, was $1,500 up front, and I can't remember the rev share. It was either 20 or 30%, I'm pretty sure, which is still like around the range of what I do now. It really just depends on the client. It'll never be less than that, that's for damn sure. But the first ever client I got was 1,500 up front. And that client was actually exactly how I got like my next 4 clients. Okay. So, and I raised my price, but the reason I raised my price is different than why you will. My first client, I got pretty good results, and he referred me 2 people at 2 different times. And both of those people I got solid results for. They paid $5K up front, both of them, and they both referred one more person each that paid $5K up front as well. So the first 5 people I worked with all came from the first person I worked with, all from like referrals, from a testimonial proving that I could get results. Okay. So when you get your coach's results, ask for referrals and give them some type of bonus for referring. In that case, I paid the original coach like $1,000 for the first 2 people each that he referred. So I actually got like technically $4K up front for each, and same deal for those 2 guys for the next 2. So I technically got $4K 4 times and then $1,500 once, right? Rev share on all of them. And you know, that varied drastically in terms of, like I said, they were all fitness coaches. I think I'm pretty like, I know 3 minimum were fitness coaches, if not more. Not saying you should do fitness, but like your first client, I think 1,500 is a good number. I'd go with 1,500 upfront fee plus like 20 to 30%, whatever it is. And if they say they can't do the upfront fee, like, dude, it just never goes well when there's no upfront fee. Like, it's so rare to find a guy that will actually stick with you through your shitty ass growth operator, you know, starting phase. And they're not going to go shoot. You're never even going to get to launch. You know what I mean? Like, the next day you're like, oh, I signed a client. And then like, they never fucking talk to you again. Like, that's going to happen. But if you charge 1,500, it's enough to get some respect, to get a text back, to get a VSL recorded in a timely manner whenever you ask for one, or whatever it is, right? Once you get them to pay 1,500 up front and a rev share, you get them some good results. You do whatever you can to get them good results. Continue outreach as well and leverage those results. Now in your new outreach video, you're just adding your results and testimonials. Like, I was able to take this guy in the same niche from 0 to X amount per month, or in his first week. So, you know, if you're curious to see what you could do, like, let's hop on a call and maybe we could put together some projections based on your audience. But for retainer, you don't really have a retainer, but like, you know, 1,500 to 3K for like growth operating client. Like, for example, if you help them get to 10K and you have a 30% rev share, like, you're probably looking at like 3K a month. If you help them get to, you know, this would be like 5K with 30%. Like, 5K is actually pretty fucking easy to get to with the right creator. Like, by pretty easy, I mean like it's free as shit. Like, you could suck as long as you don't run a low ticket. If you run high ticket, you could suck and get past 5K a month with a decent creator for sure. But then for the build, you're looking at really charge 2,500 to 5K like as fast as possible. And this is just like a one-time fee. And then your retainer's rev share. So forget about the numbers, because at the end of the day, it's 20 to 30% rev share and upfront fee of starting off probably 1,500. And I would jump straight to like 5K after you get someone results, because you're that much more valuable. So pitch structure, whenever you hop on the call with them, all you need to say is, you know, have in mind like the build out 1,500, 20% rev share. But basically, you're going to diagnose first. Walk me through what your current process looks like when someone finds you online, so that they feel the pain. Like, they're showing you their shitty systems. They might not know it's shit, but when they do this, they're going to start feeling like it is shit. Plus, it helps you understand like how much you can actually help. Like, when I do this now, there's certain clients where I'm like, holy shit, this guy's systems were way worse than I thought. This guy's going to be a killer once it's fixed. Show the gap. Here's exactly what you're missing, what it's costing you per month. For example, if they're getting like 100 leads, or like 100 clicks onto their application, but like 0 form fill outs because like their questions make 0 sense. Like, no one actually completes, or there's just like a clear problem. Like, maybe that was a bad example, but like there's just a clear problem where it's like, dude, we can easily get 100 of like, out of these 100 people, we can get like 30% of them. So like, we can go from 0 to 30 leads. And of those 30 leads, if we close, you know, 10% at this price point, like, you can give them a reasonable projection based on a fix. So you can just show them the gap, but show them what the problem is, not how to fix it, right? Because then they're going to try to fix it on their own and think that they don't need you. So if you're like, obviously if you're like, oh, you need a landing page, CRM, email sequences, and you say that, they're like, oh shit, like I'll just let you do that. I'll let you cook. But if like, obviously you're not on the call, like, okay, we use Go High Level and this is how we set up your CRM, and like they don't give a shit. And if you talk too much, like they're going to try to just do it themselves and fail because that's not what they're good at. They're good at trying to coach, right? They're not going to be focused on it. They're just going to get shittier results. After that, present the solution. Here's the system I'd build for you. Here's what your funnel would look like. So you can come up with a mock funnel. OpBot makes it super easy. You can make it in 2 minutes. Just grab like their brand name, fill out like a fake onboarding form, or make a landing page on Claude and upload it into OpBot. You can do that and then completely customize it from there as well. So you could easily, in like literally 5-10 minutes, make them a really good landing page. Be like, yo, here's what we have for you. We're ready for launch, and then name the price, stay quiet. Basically it's like, once you go through all this, they're like, okay, how much that costs? Yeah, man. So everything we've talked about, the consulting, the CRM, the full build out end to end, it's going to be $1,500 up front and 20% rep share. And you just sit like that and you shut the fuck up and you just sit there and wait for them to say their thoughts. Sometimes they'll just sit there and think. You can just sit there and let them think. Don't fold. You know what I mean? I like doing that on like sales calls, or at least like whenever I was taking more sales calls on like offers, I would always hit that strat, and it actually works. So handling objections. Every objection is a question in disguise. Here's how you can answer them. I already have a VA who handles this. Okay, nice. Does your VA build funnels from scratch, manage CRM pipelines? They usually handle tasks, not systems. I build the systems, right? If I can't afford it right now, I get it. It's because the current system isn't converting leads into revenue. If this funnel books you 2 extra calls a month and you close 1, that's 2 to 5K. This pays for itself in week 1. This brings me back to a quick point that you can also offer, like if you're gonna cut something from, okay, the upfront fee or the rev share, if you're gonna, like, if you don't feel confident in it, what you can tell people is it's $1,500 up front. That cannot change. Okay. Like you can't charge less than $1,500 up front because you're just not going to get the respect. If you charge the $1,500 up front, you can tell them, hey, the rev share doesn't kick in until we've generated you more than like my pay being $1,500. So for example, it's like, okay, I have 30%. If we make you 5K, my cut would be $1,500. So the first month you don't owe me shit because like you already paid it up front. So it works as like a deposit. You know what I mean? But if you make him 10K, then he owes you like $1,500 more because at 30% of 10K would be 3K. He paid you $1,500 of it up front and now $1,500 more after the month. That way it shows like, hey, like, dude, I'm in it too. If you don't get results, like I'm not trying to make $1,500. I'm trying to make, 5 to 10K off this launch. So, we need to get you to these numbers. I think it's possible if we do X, Y, Z. And I'm going to be with you every step of the way. Like we're going to be partners. This isn't like a one-stop shop. But another objection is I'll just do it myself, which you usually get. And then these guys never do it themselves. And you're usually like, if you're selling for these coaches like e-com, it's like, well, why would I do the program instead of just like do it myself? It's like, dude, you just told me you have been unsuccessful in e-com for 5 years. Like, why do you think, but it's like, you absolutely could. If that's the call, I respect it. But the coaches I work with tried that for 6 to 12 months and it never happened. Your time is worth more than a landing page build. That's literally what I'm for. These are just some examples. The real close, get 1 to 2 clients at a discount or even free to start, deliver results, get a testimonial, use that to charge full price. After that, the first client is the stepping stone, not the destination. So don't ever start for free. But you can't give them like, 1,500 instead of like 5K, if like you want to do that. Make sure to get them results and always ask for a testimonial. Okay. I have growth operators that I work with, or, they come to work with me, they do a call with me and like, they're like, yeah, I actually got like this guy, like some results and helped him do 5K on week 1 of a launch. And it's like, oh, dude, like, did you get a testimonial? Or like, they'll say it's like a month ago. It's like, did you get a testimonial? No, I never thought about it. It's like, well, you need to fucking think about it because that's how you're going to get your next client. Every time any step of the way. And I've gotten good at this, especially where it's like when your coach is happy, you ask for a fucking testimonial as soon as possible. You want to get them some results, but even when it's early, like if I was a complete beginner, I'm building out the funnel, I'm showing it to them, and they're like, dude, this is like sick. I'm pumped to see how it goes. It's, hey, can you shoot me a testimonial? Obviously, like, don't talk about like results because we haven't like launched yet, but can you just speak about how you feel about the quality of my work? And you'll get a testimonial off the rip. And obviously, worst case scenario, the launch fails, but you still have a testimonial. Best case scenario, or like a decent case scenario, you get them some results. And now you ask for a second testimonial that's specifically for the results that he got. So now you have two testimonials, one for quality of work and one for actual results. So module 3, we're talking about fulfillment. And every single one of you fuckers that are watching this video are luckier than shit, because every single client that I ever had to launch took 20 plus hours. And that was like without email sequences. My first couple clients was like without a CRM. It was like a landing page linked to Typeform and Slack. Piece of shit funnel. And now you're able to generate, just you send to onboarding. Not only are you able to generate, first of all, you're able to show up like big dog. Okay. Even before that, okay, you're able to generate your own funnels on OpBot in an agency view. You're in your own private dashboard only for you. You can generate all your own funnels, put it in your description, and look ultra professional, okay? And like use it as like practice too, okay? From there, you can add sub accounts, add your coach under you. They have to fill out an onboarding form. Not to mention, you can use your agency view. There's a demo mode that you can use for Loom outreach that shows like a fully filled out CRM and metrics on a dashboard to make it look ultra professional for a Loom video. So it helps with that. And then when you onboard them, they fill out questions about their business, and they have to wait for approval to see their dashboard that you can also white label as an agency, which means you can put your own branding on the dashboard so they see it's like your in-house software, your in-house dashboard made specifically for that, right? From there, they have to wait for approval. When you generate their funnels, which you click a button that says generate the funnel, you can use you can upload a template, create your own in Claude and upload it as a template, or you can create it straight from OpBot itself. And it will generate all within like 2 minutes, their landing page, their application page, their call booking page, their thank you page, their email sequences, their CRM and sales pipeline, all their tracking and dashboard, all in 2 minutes. And all completely integrated, all in-house, like calendar, CRM, all in one place. Takes 2 minutes, you know? So lucky you, you don't have to do that bullshit that I had to do where it took 20 hours just to, you know, fulfill for a client, which brings me to a quick nugget. Okay. You don't just have to do rev shares. You can, especially when you're like full on clients, which is probably far away for you. But if you're full on clients, or you have a client that like doesn't want to partner, like you don't have to just like take a no. You can say, oh, well, I'll build it out. And like, you can just like, you can do what you need to do from there. Like if you don't want to partner, that's fine. But I could still build this for you 1,500 flat. And now with OpBot, it's instant, bro. Like you build it out for them in 2 to 4 minutes. They have everything that they need, and you don't necessarily have to work with them. Another way you can leverage this is kind of as an agency view. If you want to sign on more creators that are less time consuming, what you can do is charge them an upfront fee plus a monthly retainer instead of a rev share, and tell them that you'll give them weekly updates on their data, handle their emails, like, you know, give them monthly reports, handle their sales team management, whatever it is. There's so many different things that you can do inside of OpBot. And this is specifically made for growth operators by a growth operator. Me, it's one tool with the entire stack, and it's AI powered, and it's completely customizable. You're actually a dumbass if you don't use it. So straight out, it is my product, but I'd be saying it even if it wasn't. So what is OpBot? It's built for operators. It's not just like a bullshit CRM. It's literally the operator model completely done for you, right? You manage multiple coach clients from one dashboard. And you know, it's it just makes everything super, super easy, right? Full funnel builds that are AI generated. You can also customize them with AI funnel editor or upload them. Email and SMS automation, CRM pipeline, analytics dashboard, and white label with your brand. Now, like if you're using it to scale as like an agency or something, you have the agency plan that's $297 a month, and then per extra sub account 97. You have 5 accounts. You can charge $3K a month for like, helping these coaches or something, right? Which technically you get a sub account for free with the agency plan. So this is actually incorrect. I believe, maybe not, 300. Yeah, that's incorrect. It's actually 600 something. So you're looking at more like, 14,300 something, 14,400 something, and then profit, right? But this is going to help you scale your coaches extremely easy. $297 a month, you get a coach account included. So if you get 1,500 up front, boom, it's obviously paid for, easy peasy. If you do happen to do the free shit and not listen and take no upfront fee, for this to be paid for, you'd have to launch a coach who, if you got 30%, $1,000, you launch about $1,000 and it's paid for. This is going to make it much, much easier, save you 20 plus hours of work. Again, not only is it going to save you time, but it's going to make your systems better than what you were going to build by a fucking landslide as a beginner, especially. And if you're not past 20K a month as a growth operator, 100% the funnel is going to be better on OpBot, like by a landslide. And you can still customize it and optimize it to your liking. Okay. So if 20 hours of your time isn't worth $300, then I don't understand why you're not working at McDonald's, right? Because you're actually going to get a way better wage than that. So have some common sense and let them hang. The AI onboarding interview, how this works, it's 18 questions about the coach's business, and AI generates the entire funnel and configuration like automatically, right? Full VSL script, landing page copy, qualification form, email sequences, CRM pipeline, absolutely everything. Again, if y'all have more questions about OpBot, just check the link in the description, book a call with me, go through the application. And see what it's about. And if you're specifically looking for OpBot and not necessarily like the program, then just like put that in the application. Like I'm reaching out for OpBot specifically, and I'll see that. You know what I mean? 7 funnel types. There's actually 8 now, but you have your VSL application, landing page, and webinar funnel. But these are all made automatically after you just like click, I want this funnel, but then you also have the option to click a custom funnel and type in absolutely anything that you would want, where it's like, I want a funnel, or for example, you go on Claude, hey, build me this landing page that has like an opt-in form on it. You upload that into OpBot. It's like, hey, I'm using this template that has an opt-in form on it. I want the opt-in form, when completed, to direct somebody to a call booking page and then to a thank you page, and all of that will set up your CRM, your pipeline stages, your email automation specific to that coach and their funnel with hundreds and hundreds, thousands of lines of prompting and code backing it from the best people in the info space. Like, it is way better than what you would ever fucking think of with your measly brain. Okay. It's time to leverage AI to its fullest ability. For email, SMS automation, something you're looking at is booking confirmation, automatic, 24-hour reminders, 1-hour reminder, no-show follow-up, nurture sequences, re-engagement, cancellation. It's all customizable. You can really do whatever you want. You're also looking at a CRM pipeline, again, customizable, but, we put the 7-stage up here just for title reference. So new lead, whenever it comes in, application submitted, call booked, call completed, proposal sent, close, nurture, re-engage. You can make it to where when you put them in the nurture stage that a certain email sequence actually starts getting triggered and firing off. And again, all this is done automatically, and you can remove stages, change the name. Like these stages are not automatically generated. Like if you make a funnel, you're not going to see these stages more than likely. It's going to be specific to the funnel that you make and choose. You also have a operator portfolio view where you can see all your clients, all their data, when they last logged into their dashboard, all their leads, booking, revenue, conversion rates. And there's a sales team dashboard where you can track your setters, closers, performance, measure them against the team, against your coach, against yourself, whatever it is. So It used to take ClickFunnels, Calendly, some type of email software, Go High Level, Twilio for SMS, Notion, and Airtable. And this isn't including Zapier, Typeform, and this is Go High Level on only $97 a month. That's one sub account, I believe. Like the other plans are $297, $497. I know me personally, I canceled over $1,000 a month of software. Okay. And I just use OpBot now. I literally only use OpBot for growth operating. So, I mean, even if this was your stack, for example, you're saving $500 a month and, 97 per sub account, $297 for your agency account and one sub account included. So you get everything in one place, and, it's actually much better product fulfillment, way better fulfillment, way faster, way more repeatable, completely customizable, and way easier to understand. Client delivery workflow. So you can send them their onboarding day one. You can generate it on day one if you want, or just wait till day two to, buy some time. On day 2 to 3, you can customize their funnels, goes through the pipeline, like make sure everything in the funnel is like to your liking. Like maybe you want to add like a testimonial section, or maybe they have some resources they want added to the landing page. Cool, you can do that inside an AI editor inside of OpBot, and it will actively live make the changes right in front of you very quickly. And day 4, you have your client review the funnel, share a preview link, get some feedback on the actual landing page, make your final adjustments, and then, maybe on day like 5 or 6, tell them, hey, all the systems, backend set up, the funnel is, is this to your liking, get a sign off, make it quick. And then after that's good, now it's time to launch and manage. So go live, make sure you track and look at your dashboard and look at the metrics. And if you see, you're going to get recommendations on the OpBot dashboard as well. If some of your metrics are failing or not doing well, it's going to give you recommendations on what to improve inside the business. And also the funnels, the email sequences, the AI insights, these features are not visible to the coach that you add as a sub account, but they are to you. So you can see their account under your agency account. They can't see your agency account, and they can't see tabs that you don't allow them to see. So if you don't want them to see or may be able to make adjustments to their funnel, just turn off the tab for them. They can't see that the funnel is on OpBot. They can't make changes to it. They have to go through you, which is how you should have it, right? Obviously, get people some results after that. And then from here, once you start getting some results, get some build outs in, it's time to start scaling. You know what I mean? Systems, hiring decisions, revenue frameworks that turn from a freelance gig into a real business. So basically, what I did was scale from obviously 0, and I worked up to a dozen clients at once. And once I got there, I started chopping off clients slowly. And I had clients in that dozen that did better than the others. And again, I got testimonials from all these people, and I just kept using the best testimonials to get people in the similar situation to the best coaches I was working with, and then took each coach as far as I could take them, and kept leveraging testimonials and, obviously learning more and more across the way. But, your first 2 clients, you're probably making 0 to 3K, 3 to 5 clients, you're probably making 4 to 15K. Once you're at 6 to 8 clients, you're going to start learning a lot. Your upfront fee is going to start going up. You might even start implementing some inbound strategies. You're probably making 18 to 40K. These are all estimates, no income guarantee or anything like that. And then once you're at 10 plus clients, realistically, what you're going to be looking at is probably chopping off the shitty ones that you have and scaling the best ones. But you can also have a junior up and have somebody under you that manages your portfolio and kind of talks to the coaches and does everything for you, but you manage everything above that. Basically allows them to get business without having to do the hard shit or be in the trenches. So they handle fulfillment. You own the strategy, sales, and client relationships. So you can, 3x your capacity. And you want to build case studies that close. So one great case study is worth 10 cold DMs. I would say it's a lot the hell more than that. A good case study can bring you a long, long way, and it can make you a lot of money, okay? So before screenshots, you really just want to document everything. Like take screenshots of their audience size, basically the before and after outcome. If you're going to run follower ads for them, take a before picture of their followers, after picture of their followers. If you're helping with organic consulting on their YouTube and their funnels, take a picture of their before funnels, their subscriber count, their revenue dashboard. Like, hey, you remember you were making $200 a month? Yeah, now you're making this much, baseline metrics, show how many leads per month, what their show rate, close rate was, MRR, or the fact that they weren't tracking data at all. And then their after screenshots with your OpBot dashboard, live funnel, email sequence, 60-day results with lead generated, show rate improvement, revenue impact, and then ask for a 60-second Loom or just like a handheld testimonial video talking about the results that they got. But again, multiple testimonial videos from the same client at different stages. Anytime your client is happy with something, ask for a testimonial video. Like if they're like, damn, this funnel looks good, can you make a testimonial video for me? Damn, we just did 5K day 2 of launching. Hey, can you make that testimonial video for me? Cool. You're going to be able to leverage that a ton. And you can use those in your Loom video audits, in your outreach, your DM follow-ups, your discovery calls, put it in your Instagram content, your offer page on the landing page in the bio. Dude, you can put them everywhere. You know what I mean? Like I actually don't, which I guess I technically shouldn't say because then you're going to think that you shouldn't either. But I used to. But I don't want to say that I don't need to now. It's just that like I keep more of my private, like more of the information with my clients private now because I don't need it as much to scale. If that makes sense. So I don't necessarily post like whenever I help them have a 10K day, like I'm not screenshotting that and putting it on my story. Now, even whenever I have like, I get paid 20K from a client or a 12K build out fee or whatever it is. Like I don't even post those screenshots. Right. But I've never sold B2C. Okay. So that's another quick nugget is like, you need to understand who you're selling to. Okay. And I've never sold to growth operators. I've made videos for growth operators and like had something like on the side, but I've never tried to scale the program. And I'm very confident that I can scale my own program to over 100K a month because I've done it with other coaches. But when you're selling B2C, different things matter than when you're selling like B2B. You know what I mean? Like whenever you're selling B2C, it's like less about, I don't want to say facts, but it's a lot of like, obviously you see like lifestyle content, you see like, these, shorter videos that are flashier, more short form content. Like I've never been on short form content. My videos are all like pretty much directed towards the value because I don't want to post a lot. I've never posted as much. Usually if you're targeting like a more, not prestigious, but like if you're targeting like selling to a coach that's already doing 20K a month, trying to get them to 100K a month, like the videos that they watch, like they don't need to be as frequent. They just need to be very good. But for the guy who's like at $0 trying to get to 5K a month, like they like volume and lifestyle because a lot of the times like they don't actually want to start the business model. They just want a mental masterpiece. Like they just want to like sit there and bullshit. They don't ever want to actually take action. So they just like run up people's views instead of like running up their wallet. You know what I mean? But you just have to understand who you're selling to. And now that I am launching a program and helping some growth operators, I want to make sure that I'm only working with serious growth operators still. So how I'm selling my program that's helping growth operators, that are able to get their first client or, are stuck around, 10K a month or less, how I'm helping them is, specific to them inside the program rather than trying to help like everybody. I'm not trying to help newbies. That's why I'm giving you guys a free course where you're able to get to that point. So then whenever I help you get some type of results, if you take action, then, the next step is like, oh, he helped me with the course video for free. Now I want to ascend into actually working with a one-on-one, buying the program and actually getting one-on-one help, scaling the clients, filling in gaps, eliminating bottlenecks, and actually getting to where I want to be in life. Right. So you just want to think about like, who are you selling to and who are you not selling to? And if like, how do you create more people that you're selling to while not like, while still attracting the people that you will like actively sell to in their current situation? Okay. So like whoever you're trying to outreach to, coaches or like the coaches' clients, like you're setting up their offer, doing their copy, helping them launch an offer. Think about those things because like every step matters. The emails that they get, their content, the content's huge, right? And then the content needs to line up with the copy on the landing page. Like if you're running, even in paid traffic, if you're running an ad that's like, hey, contractors, I'm going to do your Google SEO, check out my landing page, and they click onto your landing page. And then on the landing page, it's like your call to action button says like claim your free website. They're going to be like, damn, this is like not what I clicked the ad for. Like I must have clicked something wrong, or like, I don't know, like this isn't like they get confused. Like you want everything to line up through the funnel. Same thing with organic. Like when they're watching the content, you want to direct them to the next place that like you want to lead the lead purposefully. But you don't want to just like post shit to post shit or like, set up a landing page just to have one. Like you still have to do the right offer for the audience, if that makes sense. Revenue math, at the end of the day, these numbers, are just bullshit until you make them happen. But at the end of the day, send those 20 videos a week and you're going to be good, right? So growth operator turning into an agency, solo operator, you can get 2 to 5 clients. Now this has definitely changed. So growth operator and agency, the difference is kind of like as an agency, you bring on like VAs and team members and like you're not the only one. Like a growth operator, you're solo operating, you have a rev share and you're not really splitting your cut with anybody else. You just have like your own expenses, which are usually pretty low and you're good. But once you start hiring, you turn more into agency. Now you used to hire like VAs. And the agency model would be like you hire people to build your funnels, connect the integrations, to like do all your fulfillment for you so that you can like scale more. But now OpBot does all of that shit. Instead of paying a VA, like you can just buy OpBot, $297 and get a coach sub account under it and like, make your money back and more. And no one says you have to sign up with OpBot before you get a client, unless you want to use demo mode, which I definitely recommend for Loom outreach. But yeah, I mean, with OpBot, you don't have to hire a bunch of VAs and shit. The first thing that you should hire, though, in terms of your business, which is not necessarily like they're not in your business, but they're a part of your business, is a setter. Okay, so the first thing a coach is going to need, a quick nugget, you don't bring a closer, which is like a sales rep, onto an offer until the offer's really like they say 100K. So that the closer can close 100K and make 10K a month if you want a good closer. Realistically, you can switch over to getting a closer when your offer's at like 30 to 50K a month. Like that would be pretty early. Like 30K is pretty early. Bring on a closer. The closer can make 3K. Maybe you pay them a little bit extra in commission. But with a setter, you can bring them on pretty early as long as there's decent lead flow. Like if you're getting 5 leads a day or more, then you can bring on a setter. You don't want to hire the setter into the coach's business. It's not the coach's setter. He's working on the coach's offer, but he's your setter. You're going to be in charge of training the setter regardless. But you want it to where if like you want leverage, you want to own the funnels. You're not building the funnels for them. You're building the funnels for the business and you're a part of that business. And that's what you're paid for, is that part of the business. So if your offer, so is everything that you built, right? Me personally, I actually let coaches keep everything that I build for them, all their ads, their landing pages. Usually if we end up like parting ways for one reason or the other, but there's a lot of guys that don't. That's more just like personal preference. You know what I mean? So if you want to go deeper, here's a quick glimpse. Again, link in the description, mentioned it a few times, but and no bullshit, like obviously it's a paid program, okay? We all know that if we're watching growth operating videos. It comes with frameworks, scripts, templates, one-on-one coaching with me. Is literally helped growth operators, in just 2 calls, 10x their income as a growth operator, no income claim, no guarantees. And that's inside my paid program, right? Full SOB library, live coaching calls, full community of other operators sharing what's working, their wins, group calls, but they're not necessarily like structured or scheduled. kind of as we go, and one-on-one access to me. Links in the description. You can apply for the actual program. We can hop on a call. But for now, for staying this long, which it's been almost an hour and a half, and I've tried to pour as much value in this as possible. But I want to give you guys a real one-on-one coaching call just to see kind of what it would be like. This call is like 2.5 hours. Usually, obviously, one-on-one calls are not scheduled for that long. This one wasn't either. But I really like to try to make a difference with the people that I work with because I actually care. Okay. That's one of the reasons why, if you are looking for coaching, that I'm probably not a bad choice. Okay. And there's a couple reasons. One is I genuinely care if you get results or not. If I work with someone that doesn't get results, and I feel like I had anything to do with it, like it genuinely makes me feel sick. It literally makes my stomach hurt. Like I want everyone to have a good experience and, be successful. Obviously, that doesn't mean everybody will be, but that's obviously the goal. And another thing is with the coaching program, it's just going to come with me, normal coaches in the geo space. Okay, there's I would say I'm the happy medium right now. Okay, as I'm making this video, and what I mean by that is, are there geos? Not necessarily geos, because once they get bigger than me, they stop considering themselves a geo. Are there people in the marketing space that work with coaches and scale offers that are more successful than me? Absolutely. Like, do they take offers? Like, these guys, they change their focus from taking offers from 0 to 100K. They change their focus into taking offers 100 to 500, 500 to a million, 100 to a million. Those guys are not the guys that you want to work with starting off because they're playing an entirely different ballgame. Like, I'm still playing the same game, technically, as like a beginner would as a growth operator. I still scale coaches from early on to 100K months, right? I've yet to scale a coach to 200K in a month. Okay. I've had it where they've hit 100K, like in the 100Ks, multiple months in a row. I've had $1 million offers, but I've yet to actually bring a coach to $500,000 in a month. So yes, there's coaches that have had technically like better results as like a GO, but they're not going to be as informed with the daily things that you need to do and the small tweaks and fixes to actually take you from like 5K on an offer to 20K, for example. Like they don't think about that shit anymore. Like preferably like that I wouldn't either. But like the coach that I work with, I feel like I could, even if they make 5K, it's irrelevant to me. It's if I feel like I can get them to 100K. That's what matters, right? So still in a similar boat. Like I'm still, it's been just over a year in terms of growth operating. I've been in info for over 3 years. I started as an online coach. And before that, like I was in social media marketing, e-commerce, like day trading, trying all these different business models. I'm in the same boat as y'all. And I made this shit work. I was a college athlete, like normal ass dude. I like hitting the gym, playing basketball, whatever it is. And I made this shit work and I do it full time, right? I don't have to worry about shit and I still have a lot of time to myself. And obviously like I'm able to be in this beautiful apartment with this beautiful view with my beautiful girl. And, we're dialed in. But in the bonus call, it's just a full breakdown of what a one-on-one call would look like. Again, like it just ends up being super long because like I care. But in the link, you can go down. You cannot try OpBot for free. This button shouldn't be here, so don't worry about it. But you can apply for one-on-one coaching. Keep in mind, it is a 4-figure investment. I do have other things, like I can remove certain things like my one-on-one time from the offer to make it more affordable for you. But in terms of one-on-one, if that's really what you're looking for, it's 4-figure investment. But I hope you guys got a ton of value from this video. If you comment a question that you have, I will respond to it and give you the best feedback that I can. I'll actually sit down and give you my personal opinion and feedback on the comment section and try to help you guys as much as possible. But I hope you got a ton of value from this. Again, check out the link in the description. Shoot me a DM on Instagram if you have any questions. And for those of you who stayed to the end, there's also a free Telegram group link in the description where I'll drop like, just daily voice notes and some game as it comes up, answer some questions that I get that I feel like are beneficial to the people inside the group. Other than that, subscribe, stay tuned on the channel. Got some really cool things coming. Peace. I'm going to give you guys a full demonstration of OpBot. You've heard me talk about it plenty of times. And originally I wasn't going to throw in this demo, but I decided to show you guys exactly how I'll be using it for my offer and other coaches' offers as well. So first of all, inside of OpBot, you have your dashboard, your funnels, your leads, and I can just take you through an actual demo account. So first of all, you can switch between accounts. This would be your agency view where you can create your funnels, your leads, or your CRM, absolutely everything that you could possibly need. And you can also go into demo mode, like I was talking, to actually shoot a Loom video and have, example numbers and like show people, something that's not completely empty. So showing them, hey, this is how your CRM will look, should look, your email sequences, a full node view, list of your emails that you can completely customize that are automatically set up. Now, let me show you why this is actually just a crazy platform in general. Okay. So boom, you have your dashboard, your funnels, your CRM pipeline, you have your calendar all inside your team. You can add setters and closers. This is like a test demo account. This isn't like linked to anything. So this is like, I just named my setter, closer. You can see your sales team performance and all their metrics as you plug it in to the leads through the actual pipeline. And, you can go through, see form answers, applications. You can go through and see people that have booked a call, what emails that they've gotten. For example, if they show up or not, like certain emails will go out. And then from there, you actually have all of your emails here. Again, you can go in and completely customize and go through and change the triggers or, when an email happens. But listen, you've seen software that does all of those things, but usually you see them separately and usually you have to do it manually. So I'm going to show you what actually sets OpBot apart. Okay. First of all, this is the sub account that I'll use for myself, my own offer to track all the data and everything. So I'm going to clean this account, wipe it with any fake lead information, this funnel, for example, and just start from scratch, track my own data using OpBot. And this website that you guys can go to in the link in the description to sign up for the program is completely hosted, made, everything's tracked all on OpBot. So as you can see, it's a good landing page. Whenever you go through, you click apply to join, it takes you to an application, and that application is not Typeform. Okay. It's actually on OpBot. Let me show you before I go into some of the details, what exactly you can do. So first of all, you can create a template. If you have a website that you already like, a landing page that you want to bring over, you can import the URL. You can upload the HTML, or you can create a new site with AI. So you can go into Claude and, for example, create a template and preview it in here of like exactly the type of landing page you want, and you can use a template. That's how you upload templates if you want something different. But if you want to launch your coach literally instantly, and, for example, if you do a VSL call funnel straight to booking, you paste a VSL link in, then you also have options of templates to go through. And you can also go to your templates and use the template that you've uploaded. Regardless, you can use like an exact copy of a template. It doesn't matter. But at this moment, we have selected to choose a VSL call funnel using this template. Okay. So when we click build my funnel, what's going to happen is the coach's sub account or your agency account, whatever you're building the funnel for, they answered 18 onboarding questions that are purely about their coaching business. Okay. So when they go through those questions, there's literally thousands of lines of code and prompting backing those questions that give them a very quality landing page, email sequence, CRM that is all automatically integrated. There's no more using Zapier to connect Calendly, to Go High Level, to Typeform, to Slack. It's all in one place and it's all automatically generated. So this funnel right now doesn't exist. There's no emails that exist for this landing page, and there's no CRM that exists either. All of that at the same time is completely generated. Okay, so boom, funnel's built, view funnel. As you can see, VSL call funnel has just been built, as well as if I go into the leads, VSL call pipeline is completely created already with stages ready to go, and you can completely customize and add, new stages if you want and change them as needed. It's already automatically integrated into your calendar. So if someone books a call, which I'll show you guys, then it'll show up on your calendar here immediately. Obviously, you can block off time, set your schedule, whatever it is. And if we go here, as you can see inside of the emails, we now have a VSL call funnel that is completely already booked out with hour reminders, booking confirmation, no-show follow-ups, post-call follow-ups, 24-hour reminders, and a bunch of nurture emails that are specific to your offer and personalized. Okay, so all of these are completely custom based on your offer, and they're all different every time you generate it. So you can obviously click regen the entire email sequence or the specific email sequence or email as needed, or you can go in and just completely customize them, right? And for example, even on, the 1 hour reminder, the email will have a button where they can click join a call. When your call's live, they'll be able to easily join the call just by clicking a button rather than, it'll be directly on an email, makes it super, super simple. This is all already active and connected to an automatic email. You can also completely customize all of you can integrate Zoom, your Metapixel, your Google Calendar as needed. You can connect your custom domain for your website, for email sending, so it comes from a personal account. You don't absolutely have to, but back to the actual funnel, what did it actually generate? So before I hop in, you can also see insights. So you'll see all your metrics here when there are metrics. And if you do an application funnel, then you'll see actual applications here going through views of, everything like that. This won't be on your call funnels if you don't have an application, because this is tracking the actual application. But this is like an application funnel, so it's tracking. But if we go into preview, we can see that the complete template that I selected is already completely laid out and ready to use. And on top of that, we can click edit on this new funnel. And for example, let's say I don't like how much spacing is above this area here. And we can talk to the AI editor inside of OpBot to make changes to the funnel. You can also click edit and edit specific sections on your own. You can obviously, click on these sections and just type in the changes manually. And as you can see, the spacing is reduced, and you can keep reducing spacing as needed, or be more specific. And of course, you can connect your domain on OpBot. You'll also get a domain included. So you can put your agency, myagency.opbot.io, and you'll get that for completely free, and you can launch with it immediately. Or you can connect your custom domain here, whatever you like. Now, if you do have an application funnel like I do, then you can go into your application stage. And inside the application stage, you have the option to completely edit absolutely everything in terms of what contact information that you're taking, what questions are you asking, are they multiple choice, multi-select, single choice, open-ended, or on a scale of 1 to 10. And of course, whenever the funnel is actually generated, for example, the VSL call funnel, it not only created the landing page, but it also created your booking page, and it also automatically created your thank you page. Now, not only did it do that, but if we go to the actual preview of the site, or we copy the link and we go to the site, then I made an apply now button for this template, but I can put my name and some, test numbers, and we'll go ahead and we'll book in a call at a slot that actually has availability. And now when you book, obviously the funnel all completely works. I didn't have to integrate, connect anything, build any of this. And already inside of the calendar, we have our call booked and ready to go. You can, reschedule, you can view your lead. You can, if you have an application form, then you're able to see their answers. In this instance, I didn't. On the lead, you can also track revenue, cash collected, and assign what setter and what closer was actually on the lead. When you do that, it will automatically track the revenue, their cash collected, their close rate. You can track your call outcome, log call outcome. You can, reassign leads to different pipelines, put them in, whatever stage needed. You can literally do everything all in this all-inclusive platform, OpBot, right? This is all automatically connected. And if I typed in a real email, then I would have been able to actually, well, I can show you this email here. As you can see, I don't know if y'all can see that, but I got an email. One, that mail delivery was failed because it's a fake email that I typed in, and two, that a new call was booked. So automatically notifications, your call booking, all your integrations, your CRM, your landing page, your thank you page, your application page, your call page, literally everything is made in the minute that it took to generate when I clicked build new funnel and selected what I want. Of course, you can make a completely custom funnel, type in what you want, a custom template. You can make a template on OpBot. You can literally do whatever you want and completely launch a coach within minutes, right? Like I said, you can integrate your Zoom and Calendly, and it's included with automatic tracking. You're tracking for the calls that are booked on OpBot. When you integrate to Google Calendar, it will show on your schedule immediately. Okay, so all of that is completely handled for you. All you have to do is click build a new funnel. This has taken countless and countless hours, a ton of work, and a ton of experience beforehand to know what growth operators actually need to be able to scale. This is made specifically for agency owners and growth operators that help online coaches scale. Okay, this is made for you. And if you find features that you think could be beneficial for you, then if you're joining inside the program, you're going to have access to me one-on-one, and you can just ask me to implement it and I'll start coding it into the website. But we've already had an initial launch with people on OpBot. They've had amazing feedback, which has made the platform 100 times better. And it's been tested. It's been battle tested. I've used it on myself and my coaches. And now this is going to be the sub account that I use for actually this offer here. Like I said, that's linked in the description. So I canceled my Calendly, my Zapier, my Go High Level, my Typeform, and a few other different subscriptions that I can't remember off the top of my head because it doesn't matter anymore. But it was over $1,000 a month in subscriptions that I was paying. Such as ClickFunnels too, over $1,000 a month that I was paying for software. And now I just use OpBot. And not only do I just use OpBot and save top line and just take home more profit, but instead of me setting up, building something on ClickFunnels and connecting a CRM through Go High Level and call booking on Calendly and trying to make everything work in between with Zapier and trying to get all the integrations right and doing 20 hours of work to launch a coach, I can literally launch a coach almost instantly now. All I do is send them the onboarding form. They fill it out. They're not able to see their dashboard until you approve. So you can generate their funnels first, do any customizing that you would like, and then approve their dashboard, and they can now see the select tabs that you want them to see. For example, if I were to add a coach, then I can say, I don't want him to see our email sequence or his funnel. I don't want him to be able to edit that. All he needs to be able to see is his team, his calendar, his leads, and his dashboard. And I'll send him monthly reports for his tracking. I'll do his funnels. I'll do his emails. He doesn't need to see and be able to edit that, right? And for the monthly tracking report, all you have to do is go click monthly report inside your dashboard, and boom, you have a monthly report. You're good to go. Okay. So again, OpBot is completely specifically built for growth operators and agency owners that scale online coaches. There's nothing better in the space, not even fucking remotely close. This is the best software. It includes absolutely everything. And you have somebody, a dev behind it. You know, the guy who created it is me. I really care about this. I've been doing this a while and I love this space. I'm not going anywhere. And every single day, I'm going to improve this platform as much as I possibly can. But by a fucking landslide, by far, it's already the best product in the space. And this is official launch at the time of releasing this video. So it technically hasn't even been open yet. This is going to be a massive opportunity to start an OpBot agency, work as a growth operator, and your entire team doesn't need to be there. It just needs to be OpBot that takes care of absolutely everything. And you're good to go. You can scale. Instead of a big restriction growth operators had was, okay, well, if you hire a team, now you're an agency. Okay. And if you want to be like a growth operator, solo operator, it just takes so much time to set up people's funnels. Like it might take you like a week to get everything dialed in, if not more. Especially if you're a beginner, it's going to take like 3 weeks to get it right. And like you're probably still going to be missing email sequences, and like your Zapier is going to break. You don't know how to track certain things. You won't track certain things. This literally will improve your business. You'll likely add features that you're not using already and improve the other features and cut a 20-hour setup down to 2 minutes. Okay. And not to mention, in this account, in the agency account, I put like this logo here to show that it's completely white labelable. So usually this is like an OpBot logo, but in your actual agency account, you can enter any white label you want. You can put your own logos. You can actually even change the domain to your agency domain, your emails, like literally everything. It looks like it is your agency's dashboard. You look ultra professional. You have demo mode to send the loom with a custom domain, custom emails, custom absolutely everything. And it's all generated with your custom branding in like 2 minutes. Okay. This is unbelievable. I'm extremely blessed that, this is what I've been working on. And I'm really, really excited to see how you guys leverage it to make your lives better. Whether it's make more money, there's no income claim or guarantees whatsoever, but whether it ends up making you more money or it just buys back your time and you make the same amount. Like, dude, I have a $12K setup fee and I'm using OpBot. Like 2 minutes on a setup. Yeah, am I going to probably customize some things on the funnel, like throw in his any testimonials he has or something like that. And I just drag it into the AI editor and say, hey, make a testimonial section. Of course, dude, I'm going to be able to, instead of 20 hours, have tracking, customized dashboard, funnel, CRM, calendar, like his team, everything in one place for him on a custom dashboard that gives like a ton of authority, huge separator. And it's going to take me every, I don't know, 30 minutes to completely customize everything, 2 minutes to actually generate it. Right. And it's still 12K because they're paying for value. They're not paying for your time. Right. So there's so many different ways to leverage this tool. Again, yes, I made it, but I highly fucking recommend it. If you don't use it, others will, and they're going to be 10 times better than you at growth operating, and they're going to be dialed in. You're probably not. So if you have any questions, DM me on Instagram, link in the description for the program where I'll help you not just use OpBot to your greatest advantage, but continue to leverage any testimonials you have and scale as a growth operator. It's for growth operators that have been able to sign a client, but maybe haven't got them great results, or they're just struggling to scale as a GO. They don't really know like what their offer needs to be, or how to kind of vary their offer a little bit to get to the next level. It's not necessarily like, the free course in the description is going to show you everything you need to sign your first client. So start there if you don't have a client yet. But once you get it, as you can see, there's not much to learn now. You just have to make a Loom video in demo mode on OpBot, show them what you can do, and generate it in 2 minutes. Okay. So again, if you have any questions, DM me on Instagram. I hope you guys enjoyed this demo and this video as a whole. I'm placing this after the end of the course, before the one-on-one call. So I hope you guys enjoyed the one-on-one call from here. I basically have the program to help growth operators that are struggling to scale with their first client or past their first client. But I'm dropping like a free course that is like basically everything to do to get your first client in terms of like outreach and everything like that, like scripts, stuff like that. So the goal is to try to give as much free value in the beginning to help people learn what a growth operator is, and then help them like actually kind of get like somewhat like some type of results with it. And of course they can go directly and like buy OpBot without like my help. But for people that do have like a client and want some one-on-one coaching, I'll have like lifetime access to community of growth operators, agency owners, and then I'll do group calls every now and then. And that will be like for the people that got results from the free content, but now we're trying to like level up to the next point. And then of the people in the program that level up past that, where they're just like, they're doing growth operating full time and they're getting results and they're able to like, pay for their lifestyle, whatever it is, like they can do it full time. Then I'll have the mastermind with the private, Telegram and in-person events and breakout one-on-one calls and stuff throughout the entire year. Building OpBot as a product, it's already had some people that are very established as like growth operators or agency owners, like some of the top guys in the space, reach out and inquire about like partnering on OpBot. In the course video, the free course video that I've been making, it's like I can 100% guarantee all my life there's things in this video at the time to coach it like you've never heard of and never used as a growth operator. Like this will be the first content that has something completely new and like revolutionary for growth operators.
So yeah, Wit is that and a nice chat with my friend. He's already had people messaging him to do like basically to like teach AI stuff. Like he just hasn't really followed through on it. Like some companies he messaged him to do like workshops. I think first like he was initially thinking of like launching like a community kind of thing, but then I'm gonna aim to the high ticket route. I'll find a modality from this high ticket stuff to then go low ticket in the future and anything.
If you structure it in a way where like it's a low ticket offer, it's not worth it. AI, there's so much opportunity to make money in general, like in the AI space. They know there's opportunity, but they don't know what the opportunity is. His content right now is more like, it seems broad AI kind of, not necessarily like a way to make money with it. But if he starts filtering in some like a specific niche of how he helps people in AI with a business opportunity, whether it's like an AI agency or whatever it is, it'll be much easier to kind of gauge how much he can make in terms of like a launch and long term.
His angle is probably more like implementing AI in the workplace. So like one idea we're kind of talking through is like, I think his audience is predominantly like corporate execs who wants to figure out how to use AI in the workplace, but they're not technical, right?
I would definitely poll the audience and like see what their answers are. Like for example, what option is most interesting to you? And then you lay out like 3 potential offers, and one has like 50% responses, but then you might need to dive in another step and like click on who's actually responding. But like whatever result that gets good feedback, that has good accounts as well that line up with the answer, then yeah, like that would crush for sure. But that offer would have to be super dialed. You have to connect the dots on like what makes it worth it for them. Whatever they say their pain point is, then 100%, like it can be extremely lucrative. You just got to find the right pain points and make sure that's his audience.
I think a lot of this audience are afraid that AI will replace the jobs. Yeah, it will have to be something that they can buy themselves. Okay, so those are good points. I think right now the plan is like I'll share with him like a Miro board, why like high tickets like the way to go, and then kind of 3 steps at eye level, and then basically get him bought into that core concept. And then like I guess the following call based on kind of how he responds, it will be like pricing, rev share, like next steps kind of thing. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
I would rush to like pricing or rush to close by any means. I like that your plan right now is minimum 3 calls, where it's like re-intro, like catch up call, discovery, and then, going into like a third call follow up. That's good. For me, if I was in that exact same situation, I'd be okay with doing like a 6 to 8 call sales cycle just to like build that trust. It's a partnership, and it's supposed to be long term. So if it takes a little bit more of an investment in terms of like building the relationship and making sure they're bought in and on the same page in the front, it's going to be way better a month or 2 down the road, especially if there's like y'all disagree or like a disagree on or a hiccup. But more than likely, but based on like his content and everything, I feel like it would just be a good relationship, period. So I feel like it's definitely a very very good opportunity for both of y'all.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, so like that's the way for it, especially to go full time into this and like with the least effort up front is like how to take a beta. Yeah, like doing like a small group. I'll probably take the sales calls for him. And yeah, from there that we'll kind of see like all right, what people need. And then, down the line we have like a lower ticket stuff in the future, like basically turning, let's say there's like AI workflows in business, like he like teaches it and then like it's like open Q&A. You just turn those into modules and then like repurpose some of those into the query. It basically just teaches live and like no modules kind of thing.
Yeah, you can always record and post like the call recordings as well. I think the launch of 10 to 15 is good, especially taking, his organic following and seeing how it converts. He'll really need testimonials, and the reason why is because his organic is already extremely presentable and it looks good, so he can actually jump into paid traffic fairly quickly. But one way to see if it's going to do good on paid is like seeing if people will buy from him in general with organic, because that means his brand is enough to nurture, he's good enough for people to get nurtured when they don't know who he is to end up actually sending him money. So if he does that launch and fills 10 spots, for example, say he was like doing 8 weeks of coaching for 3K or something, I'm pretty sure he's going to be cool with one, continuing to scale and work on the organic, make some adjustments to the content, but also getting into paid lead generation and cracking cold traffic and start working on that. Even if the budget's super small to start, like just starting to get like baseline metrics so that it's ready down the road.
Yeah, that makes sense. What pricing would you stress that I charge it? Like, would you say I should do like purely rev share with him, or like, cause yeah, I don't know if you do an upfront if he's working 9 to 5, but could also take a higher rev share.
Usually I would say like always charge an upfront fee, like regardless, but that's more for like protection. As long as you feel like he is committed and wanting to do that, taking a rev share is going to make you more money in the long term anyways. If you did no upfront, what you could tell him, especially since you're taking closing calls, is like usually I charge an upfront fee, and on a 30% like rev share, I want to build the entire business for you. But as I'm taking closing calls, I want the extra 10% that we're going to have to pay closers whenever we have to hire as we scale. So you'll basically be getting 40% of every person you close. So like you're literally running everything for him. He's changing pretty much nothing. You're making the story posts or the offer, testing, like you're building the funnels, the emails, the CRM, especially if you're taking the closing call, getting the extra 10%. And then what you can tell them is like when you do bring on a closer, then you'll go back down to 30% and the closer will get his 10% for whatever he closes.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm curious, like, I guess before like the coaches that you've been involved with, like what type of like outcomes and launches were like typical, like, and it kind of depends on the niche and stuff.
It depends on, it definitely depends on niche. It varies a lot. Like putting up those testers and like stories to ask what people would be interested in are extremely important with a coach like this, because it's not necessarily clear on what his audience would want from him, right? If the coach is like, his content is straight value based and it's very obvious that, like, for example, if he's talking about e-commerce and his exact framework that he uses to scale, then obviously that's what he's going to sell and that's what people want to buy because that's what the videos are about. So on launches like that where it's extremely clear, like they usually like perform very well, and then it's like trying to make that the baseline for a couple months or a few months, and then like scaling past that with actually making adjustments from the data over time. But usually launches are like the easiest to capitalize on their audience. You might have to get a little creative with the opportunity and offer.
What type of offers or niches have you typically like output for your coaches? Or I guess, has it typically been e-com or other niches? Or
no, e-com, it's been kind of everything, dude. I've done like fitness, e-com, trading, service businesses. My favorite client is whenever they're inbound lead, like they want to work with me and like they have like 100% trust and faith in like what I do. So like they just like let me do what I need to do and then like let the results play out. Whenever you have a client that feels like they need to be trained and like fully understand like every single little thing, it makes it much harder to scale because then usually they're not like really locked in on their part too.
What have you done to the before launch? Or like kind of do you do like a similar thing, like you pull their audience, or I guess depending on where it is, or if it's e-com or EO or the trading or EO, but have you approached like some of the launches, like let's say with like, other AI offers or trading stuff that you've done where it coaches like Wes? I'm just curious, like I don't really know what those look like yet. So what did those launches look like for you and your coaches?
I've had those structure offers before they had them, but in terms of like this offer, like dude, every launch you're gonna do as a growth operator will have something different about it. I had one guy whose Instagram was like pretty broad. It was kind of his personal page, but he was like a content creator where it was like personal content and like fitness, but he also had a social media marketing agency. So it was like we had to pull the audience to see, are they following him for e-com? Are they following him for creating a brand? Are they following him for fitness? And then we had to go down the route that people ask for.
So like from that poll, what did you guys find out? Are there hashtags that to first launch it? What did the launch?
Yeah, so this was a long time ago. I had a partner when we did the poll. It was pretty even between e-commerce and social media marketing as like, you know, the agency are like helping people grow their brand. So at the time, the poll and the data came back saying social media marketing. So that's what we went and launch in like the first 7 days. We did about 10K cash collected, did about 10K. Like I feel like if we went e-com, would have been better, not just for launch, but in long term, because what happened with that offer is once you leverage their audience, how easy is it? Like, what's the sales cycle for someone to trust you to actually buy a program of some kind from you? What I was like backing my opinion on was if he like goes all in on e-commerce or like makes that more of his priority, it's going to take way less time. And there's also a way bigger market. So the sales cycle was way too long. But if you went e-com, even if we had a worse launch, like it's so much easier to convert someone in from a lead. It's like, I'll teach you how to make money compared to I'll teach you how to put yourself out there and like possibly look like an idiot on content for minimal returns for a long time. That's why I wanted to go econ. So basically the point is just because the data's there on the story, it's still like think logically long term about how people convert and how long it would take and like how many people would be willing to do it that know nothing about it that fall on.
What was like the biggest launch that you've done?
I don't necessarily like structure a launch. If I see someone, for example, that has an audience that I can tell, even if they have an offer, there's no CTAs anywhere. So it's like, dude, like there's how many leads you're getting? And they're like, oh, I'm getting like 2 leads a week. But it's not, you're not launching them. Like you're just like fixing their funnel and like getting them more flow. Or if they're charging like super low for their one-on-one, then restructuring their high ticket offer and like actually they're selling maybe less people on their program, but now they're getting like 2 to 3 times X the revenue, but it's still not like a launch. A launch is a good way to show someone that it's possible. But if they come to me and they already know it's possible, it's more about like I would rather make 30K a month for the coach, like over 6-month time period than like do a 50 or 60K launch and then like average out at like, you know, 10K a month or something.
Okay, makes sense. So long term as a growth operator, capacity and planning stuff, like how many like active creator clients do you take on? And I guess what are the numbers like kind of on average on a monthly basis for the coach?
It just depends, dude. Like at one point I had 12 clients at once and that was before like OpBot and shit. So getting a bunch of clients and then seeing which ones like break out. So I started cutting down on the clients and then just like working with the people that are outperforming, especially with OpBot now. I'm going to really push build outs because it's one time, one and done, gives them a ton of value. I help with their launch included with the build out and I can help them make their money back to where they basically get the funnel for free. But a lot of the times, like if I think their audience is going to get like saturated quickly, basically, you know, like there's not going to be consistent buyers, then like I'm not going to partner, but I can still help them. But as soon as I started, I would get as many clients as I possibly could. If there's an occasional client that you're still outreaching to that is like a little below what you would want to work with long term, like it's still good to piece together some type of launch with them to get like, obviously, like, yeah, you generate revenue with a launch and you're probably going to maximize their audience in that small time frame. So it's like as soon as you launch, the good thing about launches is you're going to get a great testimonial. I would stack testimonials like that, like as much as possible in the beginning, and then bring on as many clients as I could until I couldn't handle it. And then I would see, because sometimes you just don't know, but I would see what offers just outperform the others in terms of like the long game. So I would take on partnerships. Every step of the way, I'd get a testimonial. If you're leveraging that for inbound leads, like that's going to help a ton. Inbound leads are the best leads by far. Inbound leads for growth operating, like way stronger partnership, way more trust from them. I would stack clients, stack testimonials, stack results, and then scale up with those and try to get inbound coaches. And then the coaches that don't qualify for partnership, because now you're cutting down your portfolio, I would sell them like a one-time build out and help with their launch. But I wouldn't do like a full launch. But you can also do it where it's like 30-day launch. I'll do everything with you. And then we can like reconvene and see, do we want to do a long-term partnership, or do we just want to like cut the tide here, whether it's a good or bad experience or not? That's what I would do. I would go partnerships, testimonials, and results up front, as many as possible, volume gain. And then I would try to switch to getting inbound leads as fast as possible. And then I would shrink my portfolio down to the top performers to buy back like a good amount of my time and mental space. And I'll replace that revenue that I cut off with build outs.
Yeah, I guess curious to see like, what would you adjust then? What would you suggest as like next steps to
run for my ads is I'm actually going to do follower ads on Instagram with ManyChat, reaching out to the follower ads, directing them into, for me, for like the growth operator apart, like the program, it'll be more into a free Telegram group where like I'll drop voice notes and stuff, let them get to know like me and my opinions, stuff like that, but also pin a full free course video. So I don't think like that funnel is wrong, but I was also spending, I think like 300 a day. But on follower ads, like from my understanding, it like doesn't make sense to spend anything more than $100 a day on follower ads. But on I think my cost per application was like, or my cost per call booked, I think it was like $450, and I turned them off fairly quickly. I would consider, because a lot of these guys, maybe they don't know what they need. So the way to get them is like a little bit different. The funnel is fine. You could still run that, but it's like better at scale. On like a $50 to $100 budget, if you ran an ad, like you've made specifically an ad that was like, it's not even posted on your page. It's literally just an ad that's like, hey, it's about what you do, and like follow me if you want to learn more, or like follow me and I'll send you some resources to help you scale your business for completely free. And then ManyChat will, like, you can have it set up where you send them something like, hey, thanks for the follow. Here's like some free information on how to, like, a checklist on how to improve your coaching business. And it's like, the checklist is like, do you have a CRM, an email list? And it's like, you break down each segment so that they can see how much they're missing. You can have her qualify and then outreach to those people that are inbound leads, and it's going to be way cheaper and way more volume. But the only reason I say that, like, the funnel right now is fine, but spending $100 a day, if you have like a 10% close rate, that would take the first guy that books a call could be a perfect fit. If you wanted to play that volume route, just because like you wouldn't necessarily have to do it yourself, like Janet could hook you up with the DMs, you could supplement it with a follower ad because they're cheap. You can do a $20 a day budget follower ads with ManyChat hooked up. It's just a supplement. It's not a complete change of strategy.
This is actually a really good customer feedback, so I appreciate you for. Yeah, I'll try that right now. Yeah, I think for the current ad, I'll keep it running on just Instagram. Relaunch it tomorrow without my audience, and I'll run it for like 2 days and then turn it off. And what on outreach side, or I guess I don't know. This might times here, but I'm curious like how you're gonna suggest people to get their first creative client.
Yeah, it would just be the same strategy. First of all, like, obviously having a good profile. The way that leads into like actually finding creators. For example, instead of just e-commerce, how to dropship on Pinterest, like picking like a very niche, like a niche within a niche. And then you search up a how-to video of it. So it's like how to dropship on Pinterest. And then you change the like time of upload within the past, couple weeks, and you just browse through there. What I say is to like pick like a big, easy to sell a niche, for example, like e-commerce or day trading, but then find like a sub niche in it that would be like super lucrative consistently. So it's how to, and then once you find them on YouTube, it's just find them on DM, whether it's in the description or search them up. And then intro message is short enough to not get cut off. Like they can see the whole thing, which the example that I use is thought you'd find this interesting. And then you send the Loom video right after that. And then in 24 to 48 hours, you're looking at sending a follow-up message that's a little bit more of like a short description of what it is. Like, hey, this video goes over like, and then from there, if they don't follow up, it's like, follow up every 48 72 hours, like 3 more times, and then cut it off if like they're not responding after like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Via email or is for
Instagram DMs always for me.
okay. Would you suggest that I try emails as well?
You can email, it's not gonna hurt. There's no reason not to.
Oh, makes sense. Yeah. For the mastermind stuff, like, do you think the 8 weeks one is enough for me to gain like meaningful traction, or do you think most people will benefit from like longer term support kind of thing?
It kind of comes down to like what is more important to you. Like, are you after a short-term goal or a long-term goal right now? Like more.
I would say like obviously long term is important, but yeah, like if I don't get the short term down, the long term isn't relevant.
Basically, the main difference is kind of volume. Mastermind is still 2 one-on-one calls a month for the whole year. So it's more like long-term consulting, also like meetups, plus like, you know, obviously like WhatsApp and everything like that. And if you want to book in a second call, like usually I'm cool with that too.
Got it. Yeah. If things go all fuzzy, maybe in the next say 10 days I'll sign. So we'll see.
Let's go. Let's go, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate you for staying out for a bit longer as well. And
Keep it killers, dude. Yeah. Good talking, brother. Talk soon.
I believe that's
Yeah.
last soon. Bye.